Don't cry, ma'am. The small voice cut through the evening air like a bell. You can borrow our dad to make you feel better. And us, too. We're really good at making people smile. 35-year-old Marcus Bennett froze mid-step, his heart dropping into his stomach as he watched his 6-year-old daughter, Lily, stand fearlessly in front of a crying stranger. Her twin sister, Rosie, was already moving to join her, their small hands clasped together with that determination they always had when they decided something important needed to happen. The woman on the bench looked up, tears streaming down her face, her expression shifting from despair to pure shock. Around them, Willow Creek Town Park glowed with Christmas lights, families laughing, children racing through displays, the scent of cinnamon donuts thick in the cold December air. But here, beneath this maple tree strung with white lights, sat one woman completely alone in a sea of celebration. And his daughters had just offered to lend her their father. "Lily! Rosie!" Marcus's voice came out strangled as he hurried forward. "Girls, wait!" But they weren't waiting. They never did when someone needed help. The question wasn't what his daughters had just done. The question was, what happened next? Before we continue, please tell us where in the world you're tuning in from. We love seeing how far a stories travel. "I'm so sorry," Marcus gasped as he reached them, breath-forming clouds in the December air. "Nobody should be sad and alone at Christmas," Rosie interrupted matter-of-factly, "so you can borrow us for a while." The woman wiped her face with trembling hands, late 20s maybe, early 30s, long auburn hair catching the light overhead, elegant even in grief. She looked at the identical girls, then at Marcus, and something softened. "That's very sweet of you both." Her voice was hoarse, fragile. "I'm Lily, and this is Rosie," Lily announced, pointing to a tiny birthmark near her right eyebrow. "That's how people tell us apart." "I'm Marcus. Again, I apologize." "Evelyn," Evelyn interrupted softly, extending a cold hand. "Evelyn Monroe. And please, don't apologize. They're lovely." Before Marcus could respond, both girls climbed onto the bench beside Evelyn, each taking one of her hands. "See, we're excellent at this. Sometimes people just need someone to sit with them." Evelyn stared at the small hands holding hers, then let out a breath that was half laugh, half sob. "You're very perceptive." Marcus stood awkwardly, recognizing the rawness of her pain. He'd worn that same expression 3 years ago when the world stopped making sense and every breath felt like drowning. "We were going to get hot chocolate," Lily continued, swinging Evelyn's hand gently. "You should come." "I don't want to intrude." "You're not," Marcus found himself saying. "Besides, I learned long ago not to argue when they team up." The smile that touched Evelyn's lips was small but genuine. "Then thank you. I'd like that." The Golden Acorn Cafe welcomed them with cinnamon-scented warmth. Mrs. Patterson, the owner, looked up as they entered, curiosity sparking when she saw Evelyn. "Marcus, girls, table for tonight?" The twins were already pulling Evelyn toward their corner booth, claiming window seats to watch the snow beginning to fall. Mrs. Patterson brought hot chocolate topped with whipped cream mountains and candy cane stirs. Before leaving, Lily spoke up. "Mrs. Patterson, this is our new friend Evelyn. We found her at the park and she was sad, so we're making her feel better." Marcus wanted to sink through the floor, but Mrs. Patterson just smiled warmly. "Then you're in excellent hands, dear." Silence settled as the twins attacked their hot chocolate. Marcus felt the weight of the situation. What did you say to a stranger you just met in crisis? Evelyn spoke first. "You have beautiful daughters." "Thank you." The words came out heavier than intended, weighted with 3 years of being everything to them. "They're my world." Evelyn's eyes met his, and something flickered there. Recognition, understanding. "I can see that." "Why were you crying, Miss Evelyn?" Rosie asked suddenly, whipped cream on her nose. "Did someone hurt your feelings?" "Rosie," Marcus started. "It's okay." Evelyn looked at the little girl carefully.
I was sad because Christmas makes me remember people I miss very much. Like people who died? Asked Lily with brutal childhood honesty. Marcus's stomach dropped. Girls. Yes, Evelyn said quietly, like people who died. Both twins nodded solemnly. Rosie reached across the table and patted Evelyn's hand. Our mommy died too. We were 3. We don't remember her much, but Daddy says she's in heaven. The air seemed to leave the cafe. Marcus sat frozen, stunned. His daughters had shared something he usually kept private, but Evelyn's eyes filled with tears, not sad ones, but something softer. I'm so sorry. That must have been incredibly hard. It was, said Marcus, his voice rough. He didn't usually talk about this, but something about Evelyn's openness made the walls seem pointless. I lost my family too, said Evelyn suddenly, looking at the twins. My parents and my brother and sister all at once, 7 years ago. A car accident. All of them? Lily's eyes went wide. At the same time? Evelyn nodded, holding back the tears that threatened to escape. You must be very lonely, said Rosie, her voice trembling. Then, without warning, she scrambled out of her seat and wrapped her small arms around Evelyn's waist. Lily quickly followed, sandwiching Evelyn from the other side. We know about lonely. Daddy gets lonely sometimes too. Evelyn held both girls close, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. For a long moment, no one spoke. They just sat there, 2 grieving children and 1 grieving woman, holding each other while Christmas music played softly overhead. When Evelyn finally pulled back, she wiped her eyes and laughed shakily. I'm sorry. I'm so emotional. Daddy says feelings aren't wrong. They just are, informed Lily. Your daddy is very wise, said Evelyn, looking at Marcus with wonder.
The conversation shifted then. The walls down. They weren't strangers anymore. They were people who understood loss. What do you do? Marcus asked. I own a candle and home fragrance company. Natural products, sustainable practices. Started it 5 years ago, 2 years after I lost my family. She paused. It kept me busy, maybe too busy. I threw myself into work because if I was working, I didn't have to think about how empty my apartment was, how there was no one to call when something good happened. I understand that, Marcus said softly. After Claire died, work became my safe place. Architecture problems have solutions. Grief doesn't. Exactly. People kept telling me time would heal it, but they were wrong. Time just makes you better at pretending. Until you're sitting alone on a park bench on Christmas Eve? Until 2 little girls decide you need rescuing, Evelyn corrected with a small smile. Rosie looked up. Are you going to be alone tomorrow, too, on Christmas? The question hung heavy. Evelyn's smile faltered. Yes, sweetie. What do you do? I work mostly, or watch movies. Try not to think about... She stopped, swallowing hard. I try to get through the day. That's not Christmas, Rosie declared. Christmas is supposed to have people. Watching Evelyn's face crumble slightly, watching her fight to hold together, and something in him shifted. But Lily beat him to it. You should come to our house tomorrow. We have presents, and Daddy makes snowman pancakes, and we watch movies, right, Daddy? Marcus met Evelyn's eyes across the table. He saw hope there, mixed with fear and uncertainty. A woman who'd been alone for 7 years being offered a lifeline. They're right, he heard himself saying. You shouldn't be alone tomorrow. Nothing fancy, just pancakes and chaos, but there'll be laughter, and you'd be very welcome. I couldn't impose. You're not imposing. You'd be doing us a favor. The girls will be thrilled, and honestly, he paused, it would be nice to have another adult around, someone who understands that Christmas can be beautiful and hard at the same time. Evelyn looked at the twins, then back at Marcus. Are you sure? You barely know me. We know you've been through loss. We know you're brave enough to sit in a park full of happy families even when it hurts. We know you're kind enough to let 2 strange children tell you about their dead mother without running away. That's enough. A genuine smile spread across Evelyn's face. Then yes. Thank you. I'd love to. The twins erupted in cheers. Evelyn arrived at 10 sharp, standing on the porch with wrapped presents and an uncertain smile. She'd changed 3 times that morning, finally settling on jeans and a cream sweater. Marcus opened the door, and for a moment they just stared. In the warm morning light, he really saw her, and she was beautiful. "Hi," she said softly. "Hi. Fair warning, it's complete mayhem in here." Twin tornadoes hit her at full speed. "Miss Evelyn, you came!" "Of course I came," Evelyn laughed, dropping to her knees to hug them. "I wouldn't miss this." "Santa came," Granny Lily grabbed her hand. "He ate all the cookies and left so many presents." "And we waited for you because Daddy said we couldn't start without you," Rosie interrupted. Evelyn looked up at Marcus. "You waited for me?" "They insisted. Apparently Christmas isn't complete without you." The living room was beautifully chaotic. The tree leaned slightly left, covered with mismatched ornaments spanning years, handmade preschool ones, delicate glass ones that must have been Claire's, new ones the girls had picked. Mountains of presents spilled underneath. "This is lovely," Evelyn whispered. "It's chaos," Marcus corrected, "but it's our chaos." "I brought presents," Evelyn announced, pulling out 2 silver packages. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." She handed him a smaller package, their fingers brushing. "For you. Open it later." The twins attacked the present pile with wild abandon. Paper flew, squeals echoed. Marcus sat on the couch with his coffee, Evelyn beside him, both watching the beautiful disaster unfold. When the twins opened Evelyn's gifts, professional watercolor sets with dozens of colors, thick artist sketchbooks, real brushes, they went silent. Then Lily whispered, "These are like real artist supplies." "Because you're real artists," Evelyn said seriously. "I saw your drawings last night. You have talent." Both girls launched themselves at her, tears in their eyes. "Thank you, Miss Evelyn." Marcus felt his throat tighten. Claire had always been the thoughtful gift-giver, but Evelyn had seen something in his daughters in a single evening and honored it. "Now you have to open yours," demanded Rosie. Inside was a handmade card, construction paper covered with glitter. On the front, "Welcome to our family." Inside, they'd drawn stick figures, 3 being joined by a 4th with auburn hair. Underneath, "Dear Miss Evelyn, thank you for being sad in the park so we could find you. Love, Rosie and Lily." Evelyn pressed the card to her chest, tears streaming. "This is the most beautiful thing anyone's ever given me." "Really?" Rosie looked skeptical. "It's just paper." "No," Evelyn said firmly, pulling them close. "It's perfect." After breakfast, snowman pancakes that Evelyn hilariously failed to flip, sending one across the kitchen, they settled in the living room. The twins started experimenting with their new paints, and Evelyn sat on the floor with them, showing them how to mix colors, create washes, blend shades. Marcus sat on the couch, supposedly reading, actually watching them, his daughters laughing with pure joy. This woman who'd been crying alone 24 hours ago, now making his children glow with happiness. She fit here, in his messy house with syrup on the table. She fit like she'd always been meant to. During Home Alone that afternoon, both girls fell asleep with their heads on Evelyn's lap. "They're out," Marcus whispered. "They had a big day." Evelyn gently stroked Lily's hair. "This was the best Christmas I've had in 7 years." "Yeah?" "Yeah." She looked at him over the sleeping children. "Thank you for letting me be part of it." "Thank you for being here, for being so good with them, for not running away when they brought up Claire, for sharing about your sister." Evelyn's eyes filled. "They make it easy. They're remarkable." "They really are." When it was time for Evelyn to leave, the twins woke and immediately protested. "Do you have to go?" "I'm afraid so, but—" Evelyn looked questioningly at Marcus. "Coffee on Saturday?" he suggested. "Can we paint more?" Lily asked. "Absolutely," Evelyn promised. At the door, the twins hugged her fiercely. "We love you, Miss Evelyn," Rosie said simply. Evelyn's breath caught. She knelt to their level. "I love you too, both of you, so much." Outside, Marcus walked Evelyn to her car.
The night was cold and clear, stars sharp overhead. "I meant it," Evelyn said softly. "This was the best Christmas I've had since I lost them. I forgot what it felt like to belong somewhere." "You belong here, with us, if you want to." "I want to," Evelyn whispered, "more than anything." They stood there, breath fogging in the cold, something unspoken building between them. "Saturday? Saturday. I'll be there."
Saturday coffee became sacred. The twins would paint while Marcus and Evelyn talked about everything: books, work frustrations, childhood memories. Slowly, carefully, they built something beautiful. Spring arrived with the twins' 7th birthday. Cake and presents and Evelyn's genuine excitement. Watching her laugh with the girls, Marcus realized how seamlessly she'd woven into their lives. One rainy morning, while the twins colored, Evelyn said softly, "Today is my sister's birthday, Emma. She would have been 19. Marcus set down his coffee. What was she like? A real smile touched Evelyn's lips. Stubborn, she wanted to be a veterinarian. Watched animal rescue documentaries, lectured us about wildlife conservation. She was 12 and already knew exactly who she'd be. She sounds amazing." She was. Evelyn's voice cracked. "Sometimes I'm terrified I'm forgetting her. Not the big things, but the small ones. How she snorted when she laughed. The sound of her voice." Marcus reached across the table, covering her hand with his. "You're not forgetting her. You're just learning to carry her differently." Evelyn turned her hand over, lacing her fingers through his. Neither let go. It was the first time they'd held hands. It felt monumental. As spring melted into summer, their relationship deepened. Weekend outings to botanical gardens where Evelyn taught the twins to really see flowers, to capture beauty with their watercolors. Marcus found himself watching her more than the scenery. The way she laughed with her whole body, the way she got on her knees to see things from the twins' perspective, the way she listened like their words mattered. One perfect Saturday at the beach, warm sand, sparkling water, the girls' delighted squeals. After they'd built an elaborate sandcastle and the twins ran off to hunt shells, Marcus reached for Evelyn's hand. She looked at him, surprised by the sudden seriousness in his expression. "I need to tell you something, and I can't keep it in anymore." Evelyn's breath caught. "Okay." "These past 6 months have been..." Paused, searching for words. "I haven't felt this alive since before Claire died. Maybe ever. And I keep telling myself we're taking it slow, that we're just friends, but I can't pretend anymore." He squeezed her hand. "I'm in love with you, Evelyn. Completely. Terrifyingly. I love you."
The color drained from Evelyn's face. She pulled her hand back, wrapping her arms around herself. "Marcus, You don't have to say it back," he said quickly. "I just needed you to know. I needed to be honest about what this is for me." "It's not that I don't," her voice cracked. "What if I'm not enough? What if I can't be what you need, what those girls need? I've never been a mother. I don't know how to do this. What if I mess everything up?" Marcus cupped her face gently, making her meet his eyes. "You already are enough. You show up, you care, you love them in your own way. That's all any of us can do." "But what if it's not? What if—" He kissed her then, soft and tentative, cutting off her spiral of fear. When they pulled apart, Evelyn was crying, but she was also smiling. "I love you too," she whispered, the words tumbling out like a confession. "I'm so scared, but I love you. I love you so much." "Really? Really?" They kissed again, longer this time. 6 months of careful friendship transforming. "Daddy and Miss Evelyn are kissing!" Lily's voice rang across the beach. They broke apart, laughing, to find both twins grinning. "About time," Rosie declared. "We've been waiting forever." The next few weeks should have been blissful. They'd confessed their love, kissed on the beach, and the twins were thrilled. Everything should have been perfect. But Evelyn started pulling away.
It was subtle at first. She'd respond to texts a little slower, cancel Saturday coffee once because of a work emergency, show up to dinner looking exhausted and distracted. Within a few weeks, Marcus couldn't ignore it anymore. "You're working late again tonight?" he asked when she called to cancel their evening plans. "I'm sorry, there's this launch deadline and the team needs me." "The team always needs you, Evelyn. You're the boss. You could delegate." Silence on the other end. Then quietly, "That's not fair." "Isn't it? You've canceled 4 times in 2 weeks. The girls keep asking when you're coming over. I keep making excuses for you." "I'm not making excuses. I'm running a business." "I know that," Marcus interrupted, frustration bleeding into his voice. "But this is what you do. When things get real or scary, you disappear into work. You did it after you lost your family, and you're doing it now." "That's not—" Evelyn stopped. "I'm not disappearing. Then what are you doing? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you told me you loved me and then ran away." The silence stretched so long Marcus thought she'd hung up. Then he heard her crying. "I can't do this," she whispered. His anger dissolved immediately. "Can't do what?" "Last week, Lily scraped her knee at the park. Just a little scrape. And I froze, Marcus. I completely froze. Because I didn't know if I should put a bandage on it or clean it first or—" Her voice cracked. "A 7-year-old falls down and I panic. What happens when it's something bigger? When they're sick or hurt or need real help, Evelyn? And yesterday, Rosie asked me to help with her math homework, and I got the answer wrong. Wrong. She trusted me to help, and I let her down. Over simple addition. How am I supposed to—" She broke off, sobbing. "I'm in over my head." "You're not," Marcus said gently. "You're learning, just like I did, just like every parent does." "But I'm not their parent. That's the problem. I'm playing house, and it was fine when it was art supplies and hot chocolate, but now they're actually depending on me, and I keep messing up." "One wrong math problem isn't messing up. It's not about the math," Evelyn's voice rose. "It's about the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm terrified that one day you'll wake up and realize you need someone who actually knows how to be a mother, not someone who's just trying to figure it out as she goes." "Then let me be clear," Marcus said firmly. "I don't need someone who has it all figured out. I need you. Messy, imperfect, scared you. That's enough." Silence. Then, quietly, "What if it's not? Come over this weekend. Talk to me face to face instead of hiding behind work. Let us prove to you that you're already doing better than you think." Another long pause. "Okay, Saturday. Promise?" "I promise." That Saturday, Evelyn arrived looking like she hadn't slept in days. The twins were at a playdate. They sat on his back porch, summer heat thick around them. "I'm sorry," Evelyn said immediately, "for pulling away. You were right. I was hiding." "Why?" "Because this is real now. You love me. I love you. The girls are attached, and that means I could actually hurt them if I mess up. I lost everyone I love, Marcus. Everyone. And the thought of building a family again, of letting myself need people, what if I lose you too? I can't survive that twice." Marcus reached for her hand. "You think I'm not scared? Every time you drive away, there's this moment where I panic, where I think about Claire leaving for errands and never coming home. I'm terrified of losing you." "Then why are you pushing for this?" "Because the alternative is worse. Staying safe and alone isn't really living. I did that for 3 years. I was a good dad, but a shell of a person. Then you came along and reminded me what it felt like to actually feel something. I'm just so afraid of failing you, of failing them. You won't. And even if you make mistakes, because you will, we'll figure it out together. That's what family does." Evelyn looked at him, really looked. "You really believe that?" "I really do." She took a shaky breath. "Okay, I'll try. I'll stop hiding. I'll show up. That's all I'm asking." She leaned into him, and he held her while she cried out years of fear. When the twins came home later, bursting with stories, Evelyn was still there, and this time she didn't make excuses to leave.
Things stabilized. Evelyn stopped canceling. She showed up, even when tired, even when work was stressful. She was learning to trust. Summer turned to fall. The twins started first grade. New teachers, new classmates, new dynamics. Until 3 weeks in, they came home with blotchy faces, clearly having cried. "What happened?" Marcus asked, kneeling. Rosie's lip trembled. "Brittany said we don't have a real family." "What?" "She said because we don't have a mommy, we're not real," Lily added, voice breaking. "And when we said we have daddy, she said that's not the same." Marcus's heart broke. "Girls, that's not true." "But she's right," Rosie sobbed. "We don't have a mommy. Everyone else does." He held them while they cried, rage burning at a 7-year-old bully who'd ripped open old wounds. That evening, Evelyn came over as planned. The twins were subdued, picking at their food. "You okay, girls?" Evelyn asked gently. "Someone at school was mean," Marcus explained carefully, "said hurtful things about them not having a mother." Evelyn's face fell. "Oh, sweethearts." Then Rosie looked up, tear-filled eyes meeting Evelyn's. "Are you trying to be our new mommy?" The question hung like a grenade. What?" Evelyn went pale. "Because you can't," Lily said, voice rising. "We already have a mommy. She's in heaven. You can't replace her." "I would never. But you're here all the time, and Daddy loves you, and we love you, but you're not our real mommy. Brittany was right. We don't have a real family, because our mommy is gone, and you're just pretending." The words came from deep hurt, from bullying, confusion, grief for a mother they barely remembered. All the emotions they'd held in since that awful day at school came pouring out, misdirected at the person who'd become safe enough to receive them. Both girls dissolved into hysterical tears. Marcus tried to calm them, but they were inconsolable. Finally, he had to take them to their room, leaving Evelyn sitting frozen. When he came back, she was crying silently, hands shaking. "I should go," she whispered. "Evelyn, they didn't mean—" "Yes, they did. And maybe they're right. Maybe I'm making it worse by being here. They're confused about what I am to them, and that's my fault. You're not making anything worse. I need to go. I need to think." Her voice broke. "I'm sorry." She left before he could stop her. For 3 days, Evelyn didn't answer calls or texts. The twins were miserable, crying at random moments, asking where Miss Evelyn was. Then Rosie came to him, eyes red and puffy. "We made her leave, didn't we?" "No, sweetie." "But we hurt her feelings," Lily sobbed, joining them. "We didn't mean to. We love Miss Evelyn. We just got confused and scared. Brittany said those mean things and we got all mixed up inside." "We don't think she's pretending," Rosie said desperately. "We don't think she's trying to replace Mommy. We were just scared." "Can we tell her we're sorry?" Lily asked, voice breaking. "Can we ask her to come back? Please, Daddy? We miss her." That night, Marcus called Evelyn. She finally answered. "The girls want to talk to you. They're devastated. They've been crying for 3 days. They want to apologize. They miss you. I miss you. Please don't run from this." Silence. Then, softly, "Do they really want me back?" "They really do. They love you. They're 7 and processing big emotions. That girl at school hurt them, and they misdirected all that pain at you because you're safe. Because deep down, they know you won't abandon them, even when they lash out." More silence. "Okay, I'll come tomorrow. But Marcus, we need to talk, all of us, about what this is, about what I can be to them. Tomorrow. We'll figure it out together." The next afternoon, Evelyn arrived. The moment she stepped through the door, the twins ran to her. "We're so sorry, Miss Evelyn," they cried. "We didn't mean it. Please don't go away." Evelyn knelt, pulling them close, tears streaming. "I'm sorry, too. I shouldn't have left like that."
"We love you," Rosie sobbed. "We were just scared and confused. Brittany said mean things and we got all mixed up inside. We don't think you're trying to replace Mommy. We love you being here. We love you." "I know, babies. I know. I love you too. So much." After they'd calmed, Evelyn suggested they sit together. She took a deep breath. "I want to talk about something important." "Okay?" They nodded, anxious. "First, I want you to know I understand where those words came from. You were hurting. Someone said cruel things and you were processing really big feelings. I'm not angry. I could never be angry with you for being honest." "Really?" Rosie's voice was small. "Really. But I need you to understand something too." She paused carefully. "I love you both very much, and I love your daddy, but I can never be your mommy." The twins' faces fell, and Evelyn quickly continued. "Your mommy was special and wonderful, and she loved you more than anything. No one could ever replace her. No one should even try. She will always, always be your mommy. Do you understand?" Both nodded slowly. "Then what are you?" Lily asked, trembling. Evelyn smiled gently. "I'm someone who loves you, someone who wants to be part of your life, not as your mommy, but as me, as Evelyn, someone who's choosing to be here, to care for you, to show up every single day." "Like extra love," Rosie said slowly. "Exactly like extra love. You can love me and love your mommy at the same time. Your hearts are big enough for both. Loving me doesn't mean forgetting her. It just means more love." "And you won't try to make us forget her?" Lily asked anxiously. "Never. We can talk about her whenever you want. Look at pictures, share memories. Your mommy is part of your story, and that's beautiful." Both girls were quiet, processing. Then Rosie asked, "But what do we call you if you're not our mommy?" "Whatever feels right. Miss Evelyn is perfect, or just Evelyn. There's no rush to figure it out." The twins looked at each other, having one of their silent conversations. Then they nodded. "Okay," Rosie said, stronger now. "You're our Evelyn. Our extra love," Lily added, managing a smile. Evelyn's eyes filled with happy tears. "I like that very much." She opened her arms and both girls crashed into her. Over their heads, she met Marcus's eyes. The relief and love there made his chest ache. They would be okay.
The conversation didn't fix everything immediately. There were still hard moments over the next months, still confusion, occasional tears, but they were navigating it together. Evelyn was careful. She didn't push. She let the girls set the pace. And slowly, trust rebuilt, stronger than before. Spring arrived. One evening, Marcus found a permission slip buried in Rosie's backpack. Mother's Day tea at school. "Why didn't you give this to me?" he asked gently. Rosie shrugged, not meeting his eyes. "Because I don't have anyone to bring. Everyone else will have their real mom." Marcus started to suggest alternatives, but Rosie suddenly looked up. "Could I ask Evelyn?" Marcus blinked. "You want to ask Evelyn?" "She's not my mommy," Rosie said carefully, "but she's our Evelyn, our extra love, and I think I'd like her to be there, if she wants to." Marcus's throat tightened. "I think she'd love that, sweetie." When they asked, Evelyn cried. "You really want me there?" "Yes," Rosie said firmly. "You're important to us, and I don't want to be the only one without someone who loves me there." "Oh, sweetheart." Evelyn pulled her close. "Then I'd be honored." The Mother's Day tea was everything. Evelyn arrived, nervous but determined. Rosie grabbed her hand the moment she walked in. "You came." "Of course I came." They sat at tiny tables drinking weak tea. Rosie showed Evelyn the card she'd made, stick figures holding hands with "Thank you for being my extra love" written in crayon. Evelyn pressed it to her chest, tears streaming. "This is the most beautiful thing anyone's ever given me." Around them, other mothers chatted, biological mothers who'd never known loss, and there was Evelyn, who'd lost everyone, cherishing this like the precious gift it was. Leaving, Rosie held Evelyn's hand tightly.
I'm really glad you came. Me too, sweetheart. Me too. In the car, Marcus caught Evelyn's eye in the rearview mirror. What he saw there, the love, the gratitude, the belonging, made his decision firm. It was time.
The next week, Marcus went ring shopping with two opinionated 7-year-olds. "It needs to be sparkly," Lily declared. "But not too sparkly," Rosie corrected. "Evelyn likes simple things." They settled on an emerald surrounded by small diamonds. Emerald like the grass the day they'd kissed, diamonds like the park lights where it began. "She's going to love it," Rosie breathed. "She's going to say yes, right?" Lily asked nervously. "I hope so, baby." "She will," both girls said with certainty. They planned it for Christmas Eve, exactly 2 years after the night that changed everything. Back to the park, back to their bench, back to where hope began. Walking through the displays that evening, the twins could barely contain their excitement, giggling and whispering, shooting meaningful looks Evelyn didn't understand. Marcus had the ring box in his pocket and his daughter's hands in his. He'd never been more nervous. They found the bench beneath the maple tree. Evelyn sat down, pulling the twins close. 2 years ago tonight, she said softly, I was sitting right here, completely broken. And we found you, Lily announced. You did. You saved my life that night. The twins exchanged a look, then stood together. We have a question to ask you, Rosie said. Before Evelyn could respond, Marcus knelt in the snow beside the bench. Her eyes went wide, hand flying to her mouth. 2 years ago, Marcus began, voice shaking, my daughters offered to lend you their father. He pulled out the ring box, revealing the emerald sparkling in the lights. Tonight, we're asking if you'd like to keep him, keep us, permanently. The twins moved closer, one on each side, completing the picture, a family asking to become official. Will you marry me, Evelyn? Will you be my wife? Will you choose this messy, imperfect, beautiful family, and let us choose you right back? Evelyn nodded frantically, tears streaming. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. The twins shrieked with joy, throwing their arms around her. Marcus stood, slipping the ring onto her finger with trembling hands, and then all four were wrapped in each other's arms. Around them, a crowd had gathered, including Mrs. Patterson with her camera. The applause washed over them. We're going to be a real family now, Lily exclaimed. We already are a real family, Evelyn said, voice thick with emotion. We have been for a long time. Marcus pulled her close, kissing her as the twins bounced and the crowd cheered and the Christmas lights twinkled. I never thought I'd have this again. A family, people who love me, a place to belong. You always had a place to belong, right here, with us. Behind them, Mrs. Patterson tied a small brass plaque to the bench. Here, hope begins again. The wedding was in spring, small and perfect. The twins were flower girls, beaming in matching dresses. When the officiant asked, who gives this woman, the twins spoke together. We do, because she chose us, and we choose her. There wasn't a dry eye in the venue. Life settled into a beautiful rhythm. Evelyn moved in, her things blending with theirs. The twins called her Evelyn, and she called them her girls, and it worked. They talked about Claire often. The girls would ask questions, share memories, look at pictures, and Evelyn would sit with them, honoring their mother's memory, because she understood. She carried her own family in her heart, too. The twins thrived. They painted and played and grew, and through it all, they had 2 parents who loved them fiercely. 2 years after the wedding, on a perfect Saturday morning in late spring, Evelyn woke to the smell of burning pancakes. She sat up in bed smiling as she heard giggling from downstairs and Marcus's voice saying, No, we can save it. Just scrape off the black parts. Her birthday. She'd almost forgotten. When she came downstairs in her robe, the kitchen was chaos. Marcus stood at the stove looking frazzled, flour in his hair. The twins were at the table, surrounded by art supplies and what appeared to be glitter everywhere. Surprise! They all shouted when they saw her. We made you birthday pancakes, Lily announced proudly.
They're a little crispy, Rosie admitted, but crispy is just extra crunchy. Evelyn laughed, pulling them all into hugs. I love extra crunchy pancakes. They ate breakfast together, slightly burnt pancakes drowning in syrup, fresh strawberries, too much whipped cream. The twins chatted about their plans for the day, about the super special surprise they had for her.
Later, after breakfast, they presented her with handmade cards. Lily's had a drawing of all four of them holding hands in front of their house, hearts floating overhead. Rosie's showed a family tree with branches labeled Mommy in Heaven, Daddy, Rosie, Lily, and at the top, in careful letters, Mom, with an arrow pointing to a stick figure that was clearly Evelyn. Evelyn's breath caught. "Do you like it?" Rosie asked anxiously. Evelyn couldn't speak. She just nodded, tears streaming. "We wanted to tell you something," Lily said, suddenly serious. Both twins looked at each other, then at Marcus, who nodded encouragingly. They stood together, holding hands. "You're our mom now," Rosie said simply. "Not instead of our first mommy, but you're our mom, too." "Our here mom," Lily added, "the one who shows up every day." "We love you, Mom," they said together. The word hung in the air, Mom. Evelyn dropped to her knees, pulling both girls into her arms, sobbing. "Thank you," she choked out. "Thank you for choosing me." "Is it okay?" Rosie asked, anxiously. "It's everything," Evelyn whispered. "You're everything." Marcus knelt beside them, wrapping his arms around all three of his girls. Four people who'd all known loss, who'd found each other in the wreckage and built something beautiful. "Best birthday ever?" he asked softly. "Best birthday ever," Evelyn confirmed. Lily pulled back, looking at Evelyn. "Seriously, do you think our mommy in heaven is happy that we have you?" Evelyn touched her cheek gently. "I think she's very grateful you have someone here who loves you as much as she did." "We love you, Mom," Rosie said again, testing out the word with a smile. "I love you too, baby. Both of you. So much." Outside, the spring evening faded into night. Inside, warmth and love and the quiet peace of knowing exactly where you belonged. Hope had begun again on that park bench 4.5 years ago when two little girls decided a crying stranger needed rescuing, and it would continue forever and always in this home, with this family, with these four hearts that had chosen each other. If this story touched your heart the way it touched mine, please don't let it end here. Let it remind you kindness still matters, compassion still changes lives, and hope is never wasted. Subscribe and be part of our Soul Tales family, where every story lifts the spirit and reminds us that light always finds its way back. And if this moment moved you, share it, because sometimes sharing hope is the kindest thing we can do.